Hi everyone. For the second song of this Bonamassa weekend, I'm going to be listening to Song of Yesterday, which was written by Joe Bonamassa, Glenn Hughes, Derek Sherinian, and Jason Bonham, the members of the supergroup Black Country Communion. The band first came together in late 2009. They wrote and recorded the entire debut album in January and February of 2010. Song of Yesterday was one of the centerpiece tracks of those sessions. Glenn Hughes later described it as one of Joe's greatest ever performances. Well, today I'm going to be taking a sort of variation of my usual listening approach. I'm going to be listening to two different performances of it. The first one with electric guitar and the second one with acoustic guitar, and it'll be a fun comparison between the two.
My entire life is guitars. I sit there, I look at them, I collect them, I play them, and my whole life has been that way. And it's an extension from when I was a kid, and the excitement of picking up a guitar is the same now as it used to be.
Real expansive opening. Ooh. I especially like the way the bass was contributing to that opening. And at first I didn't really hear it as a focal point. It was just this drone. But then these last few notes, great timing between the two. They're just humming along going. Nice.
It's my addiction. Everybody has addictions in life, you know. I'm addicted to it.
Brooding instrumental support to the voice, that pulsing bass and the keyboards and the drums. This is steady brooding force behind it all. It's interesting the way they're switching from one singer to the other, taking parts of the song, and it's helpful to me to actually see it, not just hear it, because otherwise I might not recognize that it's different singers. I might have thought, okay, he's got some real vocal variety, but I wouldn't have realized, oh, it's one person to another. But it is a pretty different voice. Still with the bass. And it's an interesting combination of this brooding pulse and then a little bit more expansive, free strings and guitar and voice. And here comes the guitar again, the soaring guitar. Interesting combination here. It's like the guitar is the embodiment of fly us away. Even the string. I like that. It was the guitar on that note, bum, bum, and now the strings are pulsing up. Bum, 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 bum. Now, I am saying strings, although I don't see an actual orchestra here, and I'm aware that it could very well be the keyboards doing synthesized strings. But this is an example of where I feel like the strings, be they acoustic or synthesized, doesn't really matter. But that string orchestra sound is being very effectively employed as part of the sonic blend, the musical dynamic between all the different instruments. It's not just some sweeping strings in the background to give this sort of atmospheric panoramic expanse, which if the music needs that, maybe the music needs some further development, right? If you need to do that in order to get your point across. But this is different. There were some very good developments of musical ideas and a sort of passing of the baton from one instrument, the guitar, bum, 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 and then the strings took it over, bum, 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 and then they took it further, and it became less of a note that you linger on and sing up there, and more of a sort of mantra, something dum, 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 this persistent, and then to drive it home further, dum, bum, 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 bum. It was such a great sequence through from one instrument to the next, and it made me feel like the string part is really essential, really, really woven into the fabric of the music, and not just something someone said, oh, let's have some nice strings off in the background somewhere. No, it's really an integral part of the piece, and I like that. Ooh, and I like that there. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, this is great. It has a sort of spiritual quality to it. That just explodes. Sizzling.
Gonna fly us away. Gonna fly away. Reaching out like the song of yesterday.
And finally we have both voices as a duet, just at the end. Really a nicely put together piece of music. There was a lot of nice, for example, what I pointed out with the way the guitar passed to the strings and the strings took it over, and the bass, the way the bass was such an important part of the overall mood and feel of the music. But at the same time, it wasn't the only contributor at all. I'm trying to think how I would describe this just in a nutshell. How would I sum up this piece of music? And it's a bit complicated to try to sum up all at once, isn't it? Because we have the brooding, deep aspect. We have the soaring, fly us away, expensive, free aspect. We have the sort of frustrated frustrated and explosive middle, and all of that, each part of that contributes to the rather complex emotional final product. I'm at the end with the humming, and then the final explosion. This thought came to my mind. This is a bit like a volcano. You know, it's simmering under the surface for so long. It's simmering under the surface, and nothing really groundbreaking. But there's so much happening below the surface. And then finally, when it breaks open and everything comes flying out, and it's this powerful release of energy, powerful explosion. And even at the end, as I said, the sizzling drums, it's almost like we hear some lava hitting the sea or something like that. It's there's so much energy pent up and then released throughout the piece. It's really nice in that way. So now I'm incredibly curious, because really the electric guitar played a huge role in that performance. How is it going to work with acoustic guitar? So let's find out. Oh, this looks like the same performance as yesterday's song, The Rose. It's going to have a whole different feel.
I hold true passions. For many years I won't listen. The heavy weight on my chest, like a wailing wall. Like a song of yesterday, freezing nights, oil and burns, sun's fire, soon will return. Broken castles, flags still flown, like a leering ghost.
Interesting. It actually works well both ways. I'm not sure it's quite fair for me to try to decide which one I like better, because if I were to set both of these side by side, I think I would say they're both two completely different songs in many ways. But that's what I appreciate about the fact about this is that he didn't try to recreate the rock band feel without a rock band. Instead, he's taken a much more, I'm going to say, folk style, traditional music style approach here. And his choice of instrumentation, his orchestration, is very well suited so that it doesn't lose energy. It doesn't lose its spark. And the plucked acoustic guitar fits that vision of it very well. But one of the things that I think really helps it keep going here are the very subtle and careful use of the drums. It's just a touch. Now, I don't know what's going to happen coming up because in the previous one, the drums went crazy eventually too. But here, that little bit of is a little bit of salt and pepper for the entire ensemble. And it's one of the things that makes it work as well as it does here. And it's kind of different to have, I mean, even the backing chorus rather than a different solo voice. It's different, but it works. Do you recognize this here a little bit? I've talked about that before, and here's another place where it's showing up, but with a little twist or a little break, because now it's the first do and but it's interesting to see it show up right in the middle of all of this. I'm really curious how this is going to wrap up.
Break it down so low that you don't know when you fail. Try a little harder. Now you're the drunk man
Interesting. So it's the backing voices that are doing the humming here. But it's already building up. There's already a sort of crescendo towards a climax. They're taking their time. Make us wait. Make us feel every little increment of the ascent. that piano coming in there. Okay, hold on. What a nice kind of twist on the whole idea of bass. And I mentioned the bass in the previous performance. Now here, of course, we don't have that same bass instrument. But now the piano is stepping in saying, I've got some bass, let's make use of it. And it's nice that they saved it to the very end. It's a good little surprise. Nice percussion. That piano. Bum, 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 bum. That's such a good choice there. The frenzy is building. Little syncopated strikes on the drum. Now press it. It's really some great percussive activity, all of that happening. So and it keeps going more and more and more.
Gonna fly us away, but I'm reaching out like a song of yesterday. Thank you.
The same piece of music, but what a contrast, what a difference between the two. And I'm so glad that I thought to describe the first one like a volcano, because now it gives me such a great way of expressing the difference that I hear between the two, because this one I could never describe as making me think of a volcano. This was much more metered out in its build-up, and even the humming portion. Whereas in the first performance, it was just sort of the length of a verse, not much more than that. Here, they turn it into a whole portion of the piece, and you could hear it building up and building up, and then they start it all over again, building up and building up and building up and building up, and then finally, after all that frenzy kind of is halted at its peak, we come to the final. I'll fly away. I'm going to fly us away. And the entire experience, okay, that's the way to describe it. It's not necessarily the song that is a different song, of course. It's the experience of the music. The experience of the song is completely different. And it has a whole different emotional impact too, doesn't it? Just like yesterday's version of The Rose, I feel like this one certainly tends more towards the positive side of the whole message of the song. It's a build up to a release, a build up to a not just a release, because the previous one was also released. Build up to a celebration, build up to an embracing of all that has taken place and all that exists. And in the end, it's a very peaceful, it's coming to terms, making peace with what exists and what is. Whereas in the previous one, it was much more turbulent. As I talked about, the different layers of emotional expression in the music. If I were going to choose which version I think is more true to what I find expressed in the lyrics, I would choose the previous version. I think it did such a great job of expressing. For example, I hold true passion for many years. I would listen the heavy weight upon my chest like a wailing wall. Code of silence of a dying heart. Don't know where the end begins and the truth starts. When the hammer falls, it falls on you. I sit here waiting. I pull back the veil and I just can't breathe. And I fly away. All this suppressed emotional experience that is being held and pressurized within for so long. And that is why when it comes bursting out in volcanic style, it's such a release and such an explosion. Here, it's different. It's almost like it's a reflection on an experience which took place some time ago. We're not living through the intense rawness of that experience in this moment. Now we're reflecting on, and we are taking that passion, which was constrained and was pressurized for so long, and we are revisiting in a more controlled manner, metered out. As I said, the way this builds up to the end, it's still incredibly passionate, but in a different way. And I think it was a good choice to do so because, as I said before, I don't think that this acoustics ensemble could have the same impact as the rock version, the rock band version. So really an interesting side-by-side comparison and listening experience, and hearing how the same song by the same artist, one of the composers, Bonamassa himself, he's taken it and handled it, manipulated it, and set it so that it is musically an effective experience and a very enjoyable musical journey to go through both ways. But he's chosen the right approach for the right set of for the instruments in each context. Really a lot of fun. So that wraps up my Bonamassa weekend, and I have to say I am impressed with his judgment and his instinct and his skill in handling the different contexts and settings. So I may return to him in the future. We'll see. But that's been an enjoyable getting familiar for the first time with his music. I'll see you soon.